Thank you for choosing to watch our session on technology tools to support Chromebook users. I'm Rachel Connolly, an assistive technology coach in Fairfax County Public Schools. I'm presenting with my colleague, Ruth Mendelson, who is also an assistive technology coach in Fairfax County Public Schools. In Fairfax County, this fall, students in high school will be receiving Chromebooks as their FCPS on device. So let's get into the Chromebooks. When you think about a Chromebook versus a Windows computer, you want to know what the difference might be. A Windows computer runs on the Windows operating system, and the Chromebook runs on the Chrome operating system. Windows computers typically have software installed, multiple web browsers, and a host of other features. Chromebooks will typically have some apps, some extensions, and a host of other features as well. Both devices will have a file storage system, although they may look a little bit different. The Chromebooks may have a quicker, more efficient startup. Both computers will run the Chrome browser as well as the Google Workspace, which is what our students are accustomed to. There are so many similarities, the learning curve should be small, and what we want to focus on today are the accessibility features of the Chromebook. So let's take a look at accessibility and what that actually means. The Ames Center defines accessibility in that a person with a disability can acquire the same information, engage in the same interactions, and enjoy the same services in an equally effective, equally integrated manner with substantially equivalent ease of use as a person without a disability. So what does that mean? Everyone, regardless of ability, can access what they need or want when they need or want. So let's go straight to the source and see what Google for Education says about Chromebooks and accessibility. The Chromebooks are devices designed for all users. Let's take a look at the display and vision accessibility tools that are listed here. Some of these are features that may make the on-screen content easier to see and read with just a few keystrokes or clicks of the mouse. Some of these we find helpful for students with low vision. However, there are many students who appreciate being able to magnify their screen or adjust their mouse cursor. Another display feature that may be helpful to students is the color inversion. This feature allows a student to invert the screen and the text color so that they have sharper contrast. This may help students with their ability to read text on the screen. The next accessibility feature is focused on cognitive and spoken feedback. So these are the tools that would enable voice control and give the auditory feedback to help students access information. This is a way that students can listen to text that is online, and Ruth will focus more on this later in the session. Dictation allows you to type across the workspace tools like Google Docs and Google Slides. She will also show how this one works. The next section of features are the audio and the captions. The Chromebooks offer both, which are helpful for those students who are deaf or hard of hearing. There's an audio that will play through both speakers as well as generate real-time captioning. Students who need other ways to enter information have these motor and dexterity accessibility features. There is an on-screen keyboard. There are touchpad settings and keyboard settings. We also have sticky keys, switch access, and touch input. So let's go back and take a look at this accessibility one-pager, which is super informative for those of you who just want a quick handout on what is available. So on here, the Chromebooks are listed as tools that can help all students by minimizing the learning barriers, promote student agency and independent learning, and accelerate learning with intuitive, inclusive tools. This last section of the handout discusses how you can create a more inclusive learning environment with all of the accessibility tools that are built in. So on the left side, you can see the Chromebook tools that are built into the actual machine. And then on the right side is the Google Workspace for Education, which is where our students currently work. So let's continue. Are you excited to learn more about the Chromebooks? How cool is this? They've created a training game for those who like gaming online. Let's take a look. When you go in, it shows you what this game is all about, and you can click on Get Started. So it is an e-learning course, hands-on, interactive. This first section talks about keyboard shortcuts and getting a new user up and running with the Chromebook. Hopefully you'll have a chance to check it out. So how does Assistive Technology Services support our students on the web? We have a site called Technology Tools to Support All Learners. Let's go take a look. If you scroll down, you'll see that we have listed inclusive tools and resources to support all learners. In the first section, we focus on keyboarding resources for students. These are all links to websites where students can practice their keyboarding skills to become better touch typers. Our next section focuses on organization resources. Google Workspace for Education, Google Calendar, Google Keep, and then a few checklist creators that will help students stay organized. Again, these are all built in, the same as on a Windows computer as is on a Chromebook. Some of our reading resources. So Fairfax County continues to have library online resources, databases, and ebooks, and those are all in the FCPS site. We also discuss accessible instructional materials, Learning Ally, Bookshare, Myon, Mozilla, and Immersive Reader. We also have Natural Reader, which is a read aloud tool, and Microsoft Office, which for those who continue to get Windows laptops, that will be a part of it. We have a few other great tools here to support readings, such as Rewordify and Text Compactor. Those are both online tools, which again can be accessed on the Chromebook. Writing resources. Google Suite for Education, Google Voice Typing, Google Keep, all of these, again, the same as what the students have been accessing on their Windows computers. Some math resources, most of these are online tools. There's an online calculator, there's Desmos, there's mathematical equations inside of Google Docs. We have Google Sheets and a host of other tools. Captioning, I already discussed, and let's take a look here at additional support resources. These are all online tools that staff use at their FCPS sites to support student learning.
In order to use the dictation feature in Chromebook, I have to turn the feature on in the accessibility settings. To do that, I'm going to go to the system tray and click in the lower right and click on the time. And I can click on the settings gear. And in the lower left are the accessibility settings. I need to open the keyboard and text input settings, and in that area is dictation, and I can toggle that on. And right there it gives the major instruction, which is type with your voice, use search plus D, then start speaking. And below that, I can change the language if I want to. I'm going to close that. And after the first time I open those settings, when I go into settings, there'll be an accessibility shortcut right here. All right, now in a Google Doc, I just need to put my cursor in the application and then start dictation. I have two ways of starting dictation. One is just by clicking the little dictation microphone in the lower right of the system tray, and the other is search key D. I'm going to go ahead and click search key D. Now I'm ready to begin dictating. Period. Notice that I can say the punctuation rather than having to type it manually. Period. If I have a longer section, comma, I can add a comma. Period. New line. New line. It's not necessary to raise your voice when dictating. Exclamation mark. It generally works best when speaking in relaxed tones, comma, not raising or lowering your voice, period. This makes the writing process more comfortable and reduces the likelihood of vocal strain, period. New line. New line. When I'm done dictating, comma, I can use the keyboard command search key D in order to stop the microphone from listening, or I can click again click the microphone icon in the lower right, which I'll do now. If you prefer to use voice typing in Google Docs or in the notes field in Google Slide, that's also available. In a Google Doc, you can go to the Tools menu and click on voice typing. A big advantage of the Chromebook narration feature is that it can be used in any application or website that has a blinking cursor. Before using Select to Speak, we need to turn the feature on in the settings. We can get there by going to the system tray in the lower right or typing Alt-Shift-S. From there, I can use my accessibility shortcut or click on the settings gear and then scroll to the bottom of the page to the accessibility settings. In the accessibility settings, I can go to text-to-speech and move this slider for Select to Speak. Below the slider are the Select to Speak settings and the text-to-speech voice settings. It's worth taking some time to explore those settings. In the Select to Speak settings, there is a slider for Use Natural Voice when device is online. The natural voice sounds much better than the default voice, so it can be very helpful to turn this feature on. When using Select to Speak, you have some control over how fast it reads, but you have more control in this text-to-speech voice settings. I'm going to set my speech rate at about 80%. And it's already there. Now I'm ready to use this feature to listen to a website. There are 3 ways to activate Select to Speak. First, you can click on the Select to Speak icon, which looks like a sound bell in the system tray. You can then draw a box around the text you want to listen to. Oh, I forgot to click it, so let's go ahead and click. And then I can draw a box around the text I want to listen to.
Fishing cats are most closely related to Pallas cats, rusty-spotted cats, leopard cats, and flat-headed cats.
The text-to-speak controls then appear and the text is read aloud. You can click on the 1x and adjust the rate of speech. Notice there are several options for speeding up the speech and just one for slowing it down. That's why I chose 80% for the speech rate in the text-to-speech voice settings. If the adjustments in this area don't bring the speech to the desired speech rate, you can go back to the text-to-speech voice settings to adjust the rate. Clicking on the right arrow will have it read the next sentence. Clicking on the fast-forward icon will have it read the next paragraph. The second way to activate Select to Speak is to hold down the search key while using the mouse to draw a box around the text you want to listen to. This brings up the same Select to Speak controls.
Unlike many cat species, fishing cats readily swim. Their front toes are partially webbed, and their claws protrude slightly.
Notice that it's continuing on to read the whole paragraph, and I use the pause button, which is a toggle between pause and play, to stop the speech temporarily. The third way to activate Select to Speak is to select the text you want to hear, then press Search key S. All right. So it's Search key S for speak.
The fishing cat's coat is a camouflaged.
And it stops at the end of my selection, and I can have it continue.
Gray-brown with distinctive black spots and stripes. 6 to 8 black lines run from the cat's forehead to its neck, breaking up into shorter bars and spots on it.
When you're done listening to the selection, you can close the feature temporarily by just clicking on the X.